They say heaven speaks when destiny is about to shift, and today, it speaks of your son. Archangel Michael comes forward with a voice that breaks through the silence of this world, carrying a prophecy that has been hidden until now. This isn't a dream, nor a coincidence. This is divine orchestration. Something ancient and powerful is now aligning with your bloodline. Your son, yes, the one you've protected, prayed for, and carried in your heart, his name has been etched into the book of divine purpose. There is a reason why you are listening to this right now. You felt it, those sudden chills, those moments where your child's eyes seem to hold more wisdom than years. Your lineage carries something rare, and the veil is thinning. Archangel Michael is revealing what has been concealed. A divine role is unfolding for your child, and with it comes both great blessing and great spiritual warfare. This prophecy wasn't meant for the world. It was meant for you, a chosen guardian of a soul meant to shine. You may have seen signs, repeated numbers, dreams of celestial light, or a sudden urgency in your spirit. These are not mere events, they are messages from realms above, guiding you to protect, prepare, and awaken. The battle surrounding your family lately, the unrest in your heart, it all points to something greater stirring beneath the surface. Michael speaks now, not with a sword alone but with revelation. Your son is not just a child, he is a key. A key to unlocking healing, change, and spiritual remembrance in your bloodline. The enemy knows this. That's why the attacks have increased. That's why the confusion lingers. That's why your peace has been shaken. But Archangel Michael is standing guard. He's preparing you for a divine turn in your story. You were never meant to do this alone. The angels have been watching closely. Your prayers, whispered in pain, shouted in silence, have reached the realms that govern destiny. And now, as this ancient prophecy unfolds, the responsibility is being passed into your hands. Will you answer the call? Every dream you've had about your son being different. Every intuition that your child has a higher calling has now been confirmed. Michael says your child's timeline is sacred, and it's being activated now. But activation doesn't come without challenge. The darkness recognizes the light before it even fully rises. So the storms, the delays, the unusual behavior, these are all signs that the spiritual world is shifting around your home. This is a season to be spiritually alert. To cover your son in prayer, in love, and in faith. There will be moments ahead that test your belief, but remember, the divine would not speak if it were not urgent. Archangel Michael does not appear without reason. His presence means war is near, but so is victory. The date has already been set in the divine realm. Something is coming. A divine encounter, a turning point, a supernatural awakening, and your child is at the center of it. You must not ignore this message. You must not dismiss the voice that has found its way into your spirit today. Heaven watches closely now. Your son's journey is no longer just his own, it's a ripple in your entire family's destiny. The role you play in it is critical. Do not let fear speak louder than faith. Archangel Michael is already fighting in the unseen, pushing back what was meant to destroy your household. You are not defenseless. You are not forgotten. You are divinely assigned. You may wonder, why now? Why is this message arriving at this very moment? It's because the spiritual clock has struck its hour. Heaven doesn't speak before time, it speaks at the appointed moment. And that moment is now. Your awareness of this prophecy is not a coincidence, it's a divine alignment. There are decisions you are about to make, paths you are about to walk, that will shape your son's future in ways you can't fully see yet. That's why this message had to reach you today. There are ancient promises wrapped in your child's soul. He was sent with a light, with an energy that the darkness cannot stand. That's why the confusion around him may have seemed stronger lately. That's why even the people around you seem unsettled. But let this reassure you, the higher the purpose, the greater the pressure. And that pressure is not the end, it is the cracking open of something glorious. Archangel Michael is not just delivering a message. He's positioning protection. He's reminding you of your power as a parent, as a spiritual vessel in your family. Your voice, your prayers, your presence, they are shields. Your ability to believe when things look uncertain is the very faith that activates the divine timeline. Look closely at the events unfolding. You'll begin to notice more signs, certain dreams returning, unexplained feelings of urgency, moments where your child seems to act beyond their age. These are all confirmations that the prophecy is not only real but alive. This is not about religion, this is about divine truth meeting you in your current moment. The celestial scrolls have recorded this season in your life. Michael says your name and your son's are written beside one another for this phase of spiritual transition. You are being guided to watch over him more closely, not out of fear, but with reverence and awareness. The transformation has begun, and while others may not see it, heaven surely does. You'll begin to notice subtle shifts, people being removed from your life, unexpected blessings flowing in, or deep emotional releases. These are not random. They are signs of divine preparation. Everything you need for this next chapter will be given, spiritually, emotionally, and even materially. Michael's message is not just a prophecy, it's a divine assurance that you are equipped for what's coming. Remember, your son carries more than just potential, he carries a divine assignment. And you are the one entrusted to guide it. Even when you feel unqualified, unprepared, or uncertain, know this: heaven chose you for a reason. Because within your soul is the strength, the love, and the faith needed to nurture a soul like his. There are certain battles your son will never have to face, because you're already fighting them in prayer. Your tears have watered the seeds of protection. Your sleepless nights have built invisible walls around him. And Archangel Michael wants you to know, none of it has gone unseen. Heaven has recorded every whispered prayer and every moment you held on when giving up seemed easier. This prophecy is not a warning of danger, it's a confirmation of calling. The forces around your son may try to confuse him, delay him, or distract him, but they will not defeat him. Because you have been awakened to your role in this divine timeline. And now that you are aware, the protection intensifies. Michael stands as the guardian, the divine warrior, ensuring that what was written will be fulfilled. You might find yourself being led to speak words over him, words that feel strange, almost too powerful. But say them. You are not imagining it. You are activating the divine within him. Speak identity into his spirit. Declare purpose over his steps. Every time you do, it echoes in the spiritual realm. And those echoes cause shifts that your natural eyes may not yet see, but heaven hears them clearly. There will be moments where your faith is tested. Days when things look worse before they look better. But this is all part of the spiritual unfolding. Michael reminds you that when divine prophecy comes alive, the environment around it often resists. But resist the urge to panic. Stand still in the knowledge that your obedience is enough. Your faith is enough. Your love is enough. Remember this: prophecies are not always loud. Sometimes, they unfold in quiet moments, a sudden peace during chaos, a dream that leaves a mark, or a song that makes you cry for no reason. These moments are not random. They are divine confirmations. And they are increasing because the heavens are actively aligning your son's path. And so, you are not alone in this. Every day you feel unseen or overwhelmed, know that a heavenly host surrounds you. Archangel Michael is closer than you think, guiding your hands, guarding your home, and watching over your son. This message is not the end. It's the activation of a chapter that has been written in the stars long before you even knew it existed. There is a spiritual clock ticking, not out of urgency, but of divine alignment. Your son's life is now moving in sync with something far greater than either of you can fully understand. Archangel Michael urges you to trust this timing, even when it seems like nothing is happening. Stillness often hides sacred preparation. Delays often cloak divine rearrangements. Don't mistake quiet seasons for forgotten ones. They are when angels move most powerfully behind the veil. You might notice changes in your son, perhaps subtle ones, a new awareness, unexpected dreams, sudden emotional shifts. These are not coincidences. They are signs that heaven is speaking to him. It may not be through words, but through symbols, through sensations, through undeniable nudges in his spirit. Archangel Michael has begun ministering directly to his soul, and you've been chosen to hold the space for that awakening. If your son has been struggling lately, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, this message is a sacred interruption. The attacks have been real. The confusion has been heavy. But now, divine reinforcements are arriving. Archangel Michael is placing a shield around your son, not just to protect him, but to redirect him. What seemed like breakdowns were actually divine interventions, blocking paths that weren't meant for him. The reason you feel this message so deeply is because it's not just for your ears, it's for your spirit. Your soul already knows this truth. That's why it resonates. You were always meant to be the spiritual anchor for your son. You were never just a parent by blood, you were appointed as a spiritual gatekeeper. And now, that gate is opening wider. What your son doesn't yet understand in words, he will feel through your faith. Archangel Michael wants you to begin expecting miracles, not because things are easy, but because prophecy is active. You'll see divine delays turn into unexpected breakthroughs. What was once denied will be divinely replaced. What was once broken will suddenly begin to heal. And in the midst of it all, your son will begin to see you as more than a parent. He'll recognize you as the vessel that helped him survive a spiritual war he never even knew he was in. This is the legacy you're building, not just for this life, but for generations to come. And it starts with this message, with your belief, with your obedience. Archangel Michael says the date has already been set. Heaven knows what it's doing. Trust the unfolding. The battle is not against you, it's being fought for you. Some of you watching this right now feel like your prayers have bounced off the ceiling, unheard and unanswered. But Archangel Michael says they were never lost, they were recorded. Every cry, every silent plea, every whispered hope for your son's future was heard in the throne room of heaven. And now, those prayers are beginning to echo back in the form of divine movements you didn't expect. The doors that wouldn't open are creaking under heaven's pressure. The timelines you thought were delayed were simply being aligned. This prophecy about your son isn't just symbolic, it's real, and it's active. It may manifest through opportunities, relationships, dreams, or sudden decisions that don't make sense logically but feel right spiritually. Pay attention to these moments. They are not random. They are the breadcrumbs of destiny leading your son into alignment with his calling. Archangel Michael is asking you to prepare, not panic, to praise, not question. Because preparation fuels revelation. Even now, the enemy senses that something powerful is about to be birthed through your son's life. That's why the attacks have intensified. That's why the confusion has deepened. But hear this clearly, what's attacking your son now is terrified of who he will become if this prophecy fully unfolds. That fear in the enemy is your confirmation that heaven's plan is unstoppable. There is a generational breakthrough encoded in this message. Your lineage has carried pain, silence, shame, but Archangel Michael says your son will be the first to break what others only survived. He will not just live, he will lead. He will not just heal, he will restore others. And your faith is the soil in which this miracle is beginning to grow. Don't downplay your role. Don't doubt your discernment. You were given spiritual sight for a reason. The next few weeks may feel like nothing is happening, but in the spirit, heaven is building. Angels are being dispatched. Conversations are being divinely orchestrated. Protection is being layered. Trust the process, even when you can't trace the outcome. Your son's story is not being written in ink, it's being carved in light, by hands far greater than yours or his. And when you start to see little signs, a peaceful night after weeks of turmoil, a dream that feels too vivid to be imagined, a sentence your son says that sounds like a message straight from God, stop and honor those moments. They are confirmations. They are whispers from Michael, saying, it's happening. Stay strong. You're not alone. If something in this message stirred your spirit, don't keep it to yourself. Someone else, maybe a mother, a father, or a soul on the edge, needs to hear this. Sharing this video could be the divine nudge they've been waiting for. And if your heart whispered yes during any part of this, if you felt seen, understood, or protected, then let it echo back through a comment below. Your story, your testimony, might be the light someone else finds hope in. Indiana. If you believe Archangel Michael is fighting on your behalf, show your agreement, not just silently, but boldly. Hit that like button like you're sealing this prophecy with faith. And for those who feel this channel has become your spiritual space, your divine checkpoint, subscribe now. Let this be the place where heaven continues to speak to you, again and again. Lastly, if this message hit deep, and you feel moved to support this divine work, even with a small offering, consider leaving a super thanks. You're not just giving, you're fueling messages that change lives. And heaven sees your seed.